What does it mean to be spiritual but not religious? According to a 2015 poll taken by the Angus Reid Institute, 39% of Canadians identify as spiritual but not religious. And a report published in 2013 by the Pew Research Centre found rising religious disaffiliation in Canada to be the result of generational replacement. This means that the rising number of spiritual but not religious Canadians is largely the result of the more religious generational cohorts, born before 1960, being replaced by the more spiritual generational cohorts, born after 1960. My SSHRC-funded doctoral project seeks to better understand the beliefs, practices, and values of Canadian millennials who identify as spiritual but not religious. Understanding the nature of contemporary spirituality is important because the shift from religion to spirituality holds significant implications for the future of Canadian society. Historically, religious institutions and communities have provided the basis for both civic virtue and social capital. Civic virtue is a term used by political philosophers to describe the qualities that characterize good citizens, while social capital is a term used by sociologists to describe the glue that bonds people together. It is no doubt that historically, religious communities have been central to cultivating virtuous citizens and supplying social capital, and therefore have been integral to the maintenance of Canadian civil society. This is why some scholars fear for the future. A progressive country like Canada requires virtuous citizens who are willing to make sacrifices for their fellow Canadians. For example, to pay taxes, to volunteer for good causes, and to help their neighbors and friends when in need. Some worry that without religious traditions encouraging Canadians to live up to their civic duties and help out their neighbors, they might fail to do so. Others fear that with the decline of religious communities, Canadians will lose a sense of community and therefore become more isolated from each other. My research aims to determine whether contemporary spirituality is capable of replacing religion as a source of civic virtue and social capital. I am conducting a 3-year study of 40 Canadian millennials who identify as spiritual but not religious. Through repeated in-depth interviews, I'll seek to understand how young Canadians think about their spiritual lives, what forms of community they engage with, and what values undergird their spirituality. I hope to bring light to the larger social and political implications the rising popularity of spirituality among millennials today may mean for the future of Canadian society.